As you guys know, I am the giggling goober goblin of all ghastly, gaslighting, Gnostic nonsense that comes out of Watchtower. That perhaps was one of my best alliterations ever, because I changed the G to the silent G to the nonsense. I was kind of cooking on that one. But anyway, as you guys know, I like laughing at just really redundant, stupid things. And Watchtower has made this big, massive budget. We're talking $100 million type budget for making a 12-part series of this the Life of Jesus video. And they released part 1, and we've been going over it. If you haven't been keeping up with the channel, or this is the first time here, then you probably already clicked off of the video. So anyway, here we are. But we have been looking at this Life of Jesus video, and we're going to pick it up. Now, the thing that is my biggest complaint is that this thing just does not need to exist. It's completely nonsensical and pointless. Have you ever been walking around your neighborhood and you've seen someone cutting their grass with scissors? It's like you're watching someone that is washing their dishes with their feet.
So actually got a cramp. Ah!
Or better yet, when someone's trying to plug in an HDMI cable and you're thinking, why don't you just move the TV to the side and then it'll be easier? That is what this whole series feels like, but I am here for it. Welcome back to the JW Thoughts channel. My name is Wally, and today we are finishing the first part of the new Jesus drama from the Jehovah's Witnesses. Quickly, before we get into it, don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if this is something that you enjoy. If you do want to get a little bit more bonus content, you can become a member of the channel. Well, there's a little link button, something that says join down below, and there I will be uploading a podcast every other week minimum that just talks about whatever's going on in ye old brain. So hopefully you guys enjoy that, and hopefully you guys feel like supporting the channel. With all of that being said, let's do this.
Also, when the time came for purifying them according to the law of Moses, they brought him up to Jerusalem to present him to Jehovah, just as it is written in Jehovah's law. Every firstborn male must be called holy to Jehovah. And they offered a sacrifice according to what is said in the law of Jehovah: a pair of turtle doves or 2 young pigeons. And look, there was a man in Jerusalem named Simeon. And this man was righteous and devout, waiting for Israel's consolation. And Holy Spirit was upon him. Furthermore, it had been divinely revealed to him by the Holy Spirit that he would not see death before he had seen the Christ of Jehovah.
Now, this little sentence really irritated me. Just to get you up on the lore, we've gone through this whole saga. I have 2 videos already up on the channel that talk about the first parts of this video, so we're just kind of here at the end. But here, the baby Jesus has been born, and they're talking about this guy named Simeon that was promised, hey, you know, the Holy Spirit cometh upon him, and he got the message that said, hey, you'll see the Christ of Yahweh before you die. Well, the interesting thing about that is that Jehovah's Witnesses for the last 120 years have been telling people that have fully bought in to their ideology and their theology that they would see the end before they die. My grandparents were told that, sorry, there's like a piece of dust and it is really disorienting. But yeah, my grandparents were told before they would die, they would see Armageddon and be ushered into this new paradisaic world. My parents were told, before you graduate high school, you're going to see the end of the world and Armageddon will be here. I was told, before you complicated, but before you graduate high school, you will see the end of the world and Armageddon will be here. And now, if you just go on this timeline, my brother, I don't have kids, but my brother, he has kids who are going through school now, and they are being told. So just in my family alone, you have like 5 generations of people all saying, hey, the end is going to be here before X. And for every single one of them, it has failed. So when the Jehovah's Witnesses make this video and they portray someone that actually gets to see this, to me, it's irritating because Watchtower has made so many predictions that just haven't come true. And I guess the thing that irritates me mostly about all of this is, why is this guy so special? Why is not everyone getting the same information? Why is not the Holy Spirit giving people good, credible information so they can have a realistic expectation and it actually happens, versus people sitting around wasting their entire lives for promises that aren't going to come true? And then Watchtower just shows this Simeon guy, and it's like, well, you know what you really should be showing is the millions of people that have all grown up and died waiting for the promises that you've made and have been completely let down. That would be a video I would enjoy watching.
Under the power of the Spirit, he now came into the temple. And as the parents brought the young child Jesus in to do for him according to the customary practice of the law, he took the child into his arms. And praised God.
Now, Sovereign Lord, you are letting your slave go in peace, according to your declaration, because my eyes have seen your means of salvation, that you have prepared in the sight of all the peoples, a light for removing the veil from the nations, and a glory of your people Israel.
And the child's father and mother continued wondering at the things being spoken about him. Also, Simeon blessed them.
So some random Australian dude walks up and starts yapping about some mumbo jumbo, and he gives you a blessing. Why can't it be anything functional? Oh, I bless you. Cool. Like, why can't it be like an Oprah experience where it's like, hey, you know what?
And said to Mary, the child's mother,
Look, this child is appointed for the falling and the rising again of many in Israel, and for a sign to be spoken against, Yes, a long sword will be run through you. A long sword will be run through you. A long sword will be run through you. In order that the reasonings of many hearts may be revealed.
Praises be to the old Father, for he has blessed my eyes, and I will see the salvation of the multiverse.
What is happening in this video? It's so nonsensical. I'm just losing my mind watching it.
After Jesus had been born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, look, astrologers from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, "Where is the one born King of the Jews? For we saw his star when we were in the east, and we have come to do obeisance to him." At hearing this, King Herod was agitated. And all Jerusalem with him. On gathering together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born.
In Bethlehem of Judea. For this is how it has been written through the prophet. And you, O Bethlehem of the land of Judah, are by no means the most insignificant city among the governors of Judah. For out of you will come a governing one, who will shepherd my people Israel.
And again, somehow Watchtower manages to make a rather interesting story significantly mundane. I guess we'll see how this goes, but I'm trying not to do the whole Wally geeking out over Bible thing that I did in the last video, but I just have to talk about this here. So this whole story between Herod and how he got here is really fascinating. So his dad Antipater was basically a shill for the Romans, and he landed himself on the right side of history. So there was a civil war in Rome and between Julius Caesar and Pompey Magnus, and he backed Julius Caesar, obviously, and then boom, he ingratiated himself on the right side of history. And so as such, with this power that he now had with the Romans, he elected his sons, Phasael, I can't remember exactly, and Herod to be governors over different regions. And Herod was a total turbo lunatic military man for the Romans. And they were like, hey, brother, if you want to go and just like mess people up, all of these bandits that are rebelling against Rome, go ahead, yeehaw, let it ride. So he was going through, even when he was young, as a governor, and doing the bidding of Rome for a long time. And then as he got a little bit older, there was an issue where they basically lost Jerusalem, essentially. And so this is like 37 BCE. So it would have been like 30 years before Jesus was born. Anyway, so the Roman Senate was like, hey, you know what? We know the guy for the job. You already wiped out those bandits from Galilee. Why don't you go through Jerusalem and go and wipe out these more bandits? And he successfully did it with the backing of Rome. And so he eventually worked his way to where he was in a position to be a vassal king for Rome, you know, ruling over the region. And all of this is just to say, why this scene happens. So this scene happens because Herod didn't want anyone to... I'm amazed that I've done this in one take. This is actually shocking. Anyway, yeehaw for my brain. Herod didn't want to be challenged for his seat as the quote-unquote king of the Jews. All of the historical context, the prophets talking about this resurgent king of the Jews that would rise up. Herod thought that was him. He named himself the king of the Jews, and he would do it by any means necessary. So the story behind it is, oh wow, if someone is being praised as the king of the Jews, that's why it would piss him off, because why else would he just be like, oh, a baby was born? Damn it, let's just kill all the babies and we gotta flush this out. He was very sensitive. At least that's how like the story goes. But anyway, there's a little bit of historical context. Again, I don't know. Watchtower had a perfect opportunity, and they've spent so much money on this movie to begin with. They had a good opportunity to actually tell an interesting story, because it is fascinating about how this sort of happened. And, you know, there's a lot of interesting details. I've only just given it like a surface level off of... I haven't thought about this in like 10 years. But anyway, so that's sort of like why he's so upset about someone that's being named the king of the Jews, because he thought he was the king of the Jews. Anyway, I guess let's just watch Watchtower kind of flop on all of the interesting details and just do slow motion cameras of people going... Just remember, this has a blockbuster budget. And this is what you're getting.
Then Herod secretly summoned the astrologers and carefully ascertained from them the time of the star's appearing. When sending them to Bethlehem, he said,
"Go, make a careful search for the young child. And when you have found him, report back to me, so that I too may go and do obeisance to him."
After they had heard the king, they went their way. And look, the star they had seen when they were in the east went ahead of them. Until it came to a stop above where the young child was. On seeing the star, they rejoiced with great joy.
Sorry, but their choice of words always cracks me up. They rejoiced with great joy. Well, what does it look like when someone rejoices with low-grade joy? They rejoiced with mid-level joy. It was like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
And when they went into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother. And falling down, they did obeisance to him. They also opened their treasures and presented him with gifts: gold and frankincense and myrrh. However, because they were given divine warning in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed for their country by another way.
Okay, I think I've worked out why this is so bad. So no one talks. Most of it is just narrated, and then the people are just like giving reaction shots, like they're like an actual slideshow of YouTube thumbnails. It's so horrible. And then when people finally do talk, they have this ridiculous Australian accent that just completely takes you out of the moment. But anyway, this whole thing, I used to have some frankincense, and I was going to just like set it on my desk as a joke, but I didn't have it in my spice cabinet anymore. So joke gone. But hey, we can just pretend it's there. It's probably kind of dumb.
After they had departed, look, Jehovah's angel appeared to Joseph in a dream.
Get up, take the young child and his mother, and flee to Egypt and stay there until I give you word. For Herod is about to search for the young child to kill him.
We need to go.
So Joseph got up, and by night took along the young child and the child's mother, and went into Egypt.
Dude's sitting here thinking, okay, we gotta just only bring the essentials. Okay, let me grab some frankincense. Yeah, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna bring some myrrh, whatever that is. Gold. I don't think we need that gold. We'll just leave that behind.
He stayed there until the death of Herod. This fulfilled what was spoken by Jehovah through his prophet, saying, "Out of Egypt I called my son." Then Herod, seeing that he had been outwitted by the astrologers, flew into a great rage.
No! No!
And he sent out and had all the boys in Bethlehem and in all its districts killed from 2 years of age and under, according to the time that he had carefully ascertained from the astrologers.
But the women, and the children too, they're like animals, and I slaughtered them like animals.
That happened. Yikes. I think the real miraculous part of this story is that Mary managed to go from like 18 to 40 years old and not age a single day. What is her skincare routine? And this is coming from someone that, hey, I'll keep it a buck and a stack with you. I got that melanin in my skin. Black don't crack, baby. But somehow this white Australian lady has managed to go from 18 to 40 and look exactly the same. Jesus is 12 years old now, or whatever he is meant to be in the story, and she's had multiple children, looks exactly the same. I cannot get my head around the money they spent making this video, and the quality is so bad. It's embarrassing. Like, if I was a Jehovah's Witness sitting there watching it and just like, oh yeah, oh man, we've been waiting for 4 years for this thing to happen. Okay, let's see what we got here. Man, I know they've been spending millions and millions of dollars. Okay, this is going to be good. I would be apocalyptically disappointed at how bad the quality of this is.
And then began to search for him among the relatives and acquaintances. But not finding him, they returned to Jerusalem and made a diligent search for him. Well, after 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the teachers and listening to them and asking them questions. But all those listening to him were in constant amazement at his understanding and his answers. Now, when his parents saw him, they were astounded.
Child, why did you treat us this way? Here your father and I have been frantically looking for you.
Why were you looking for me? Did you not know that I must be in the house of my father?
However, they did not understand what he was saying to them. Then he went down with them and returned to Nazareth. And he continued subject to them. Also, his mother carefully kept all these sayings in her heart. And Jesus went on progressing in wisdom and in physical growth, and in favor with God and men.
The true light that gives light to every sort of man was about to come into the world.
If you're a parent and you don't notice your 12-year-old is gone for 2 days, that's a pretty bad look. I think you get a F on the parenting grading scale here. But for some reason, my brain just says, if you are the parent of the Son of God, wouldn't you be a little more cognizant of his whereabouts? How could it be like, I haven't seen Jesus Christ here in a while. Wonder where that little turd ball is. Probably running around in the forest. Oh well, I guess I'll go to sleep. Like, you have a 12-year-old. And you're on a family road trip and you can't keep track of them. I don't know why this is so funny to me, but anyway, with all of that being said, that's about all I can handle from this video. That basically wraps it up. There's just a couple more scenes here, but they're inconsequential. So there wraps up the official drama from the convention. So hope you had a good time, and we'll keep on with doing some convention videos over the next couple days. With all that being said, stay safe, be kind, and don't forget to show yourself the same kindness that you show to others. And ZZ's not here, but Winston is, so. Hey, sit. Sit pretty. You silly goober. Winston, sit. Winston, come here. Okay, sit. Sit pretty. Good boy. It's a work in progress. Have a good ass day.